Ugly Truth. It's time for Stephanie in the studio. It is time for Ugly Truth. She's about to strangle me over there.
My goodness, it's so sad.
Why is it sad? You're getting a promotion.
Promotion of what?
You're going from guest to DJ. Why? Why
Well,
is that
I've been DJing for 2 months, Ida.
Well, no, I mean, but you were still on my show, but now you're officially becoming a host.
I know,
so
but you know,
it's a promotion.
But it's Ugly Truth is like, it's like my thing.
It's true.
No one can do like I do.
It is. But yes.
But the new guest's gonna come, you know, and join you guys. That's so exciting.
Yeah, we do have a new guest joining us. Kind of worried about what he's gonna say, but anyways,
because it's like now you guys have not like two female perspective. Now you guys will have a boys and a girl.
Yeah, perspective. But I'm not sure how accurate that boy perspective is
I'm
going to be.
listen, okay. And I'll be like, you know what?
If you need to help us, please don't, feel free to help us.
I'm gonna come by.
Okay.
You know that. You know I'll do that.
I know.
I'll like sit right here.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. We would love you back on the show. So we do have a lot of interesting stories to look at for today.
Yes.
One of our loyal listeners actually sent in a message. So let's take a listen to the first story
for
today.
So it is from Eric Liu from Canada. So there's a manager in my company who's super nitpicky. He makes me so angry because he will purposely go out of his way to find every single mistake that anyone makes. On the other hand, I do appreciate his throughoutness. So, in a sense, I think it's more about the way he goes about it. There's a certain way to go about mistakes and addressing them. For example, A, this is wrong. Why did you miss this? Where you not following the procedure? And this is B. Hey, I noticed that there's a mistake here. Just thought you'd like to know. I would like to confront this manager, but at the same time, I don't. Should I just suck it up? What do you guys think about the situation, or have you had similar experiences? So for the vote, Team A, go confront to manager, and B, just follow what manager says. All right, so Ida. So the boss is really picky. But this is usual. This is very usual. I'll say B because that's like one of the social life. And you know what? Oh my goodness. People who have power, I will say, or have a what is that? Like if it's your boss or your manager, then I think following the rule is that's the way it goes, I think.
True. Eric, I mean, you're in Canada at the moment. So, I mean, honestly, I've never really worked in the States. I came here when I was in junior high. So I wouldn't have to say that I've actually worked. I went back to school in the States. I've seen my family run businesses, and I have dealt with people in the workplace because my mom does work with, American people instead of just Asians. But tactic-wise, I'd have to say that keeping your mouth shut is the best way to go. But this is more so from a Korean perspective. Because in Korea, your seniority is the law, pretty much.
Right.
What upstairs says goes. There's no really ifs, ands, or buts. In a lot of Asian markets, in a lot of Asian companies, the people underneath you do all the work, but the people up head are getting the credit for it. Even though you hate it, that is the kind of cycle of life. A lot of men in Korea, they like to compare it to going to the military and spending their military services. In Korean military services, as you proceed through your 6 month, year and a half, 2 years, within those rankings, what you can and cannot do is very precise. And a lot of men, when they come into the real world, they feel that this repeats itself.
Right.
Guys and girls.
That's life.
Yeah, but that's life. You know what I mean? You see this very often in Korea, where I feel in the U.S. and a lot of Western countries, they're more open to the underdog coming up and actually doing what they can is acceptable. But in most Asian countries, I'd have to say that
You really have to suck it up.
exactly, you really have to suck it up. So I think it is a little bit of where you're coming from,
Right.
in culture.
Eric, I think you might have maybe a time to talk to your manager, but like confront your manager. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, confronting, because that can lead to very, not good.
Working atmosphere.
Yeah, and a problem maybe. I don't know. Because it's your manager, and your manager will, if he's very picky about everything, then he'll be very not comfortable when you confront him.
I'd have to give you advice of saying, in Korea, one of the pros and cons of having these after work dinners, which are called 회식 in Korea.
We do that a lot of times.
Yeah, there's a lot more than the States.
Right. So we do have, Korea have more chance to get close
To your
boss or
yeah.
the manager or whatever, because that's like one of the important thing, like drinking, because, Korean people, they love to drink. We love to drink. So, that's like one of that's continuous of they're continuing the work. Right? Like,
so work leaks into the dinner parties.
Right.
Now, in the U.S., from what I remember, even with my mom working in the U.S., she would only have the occasional either New Year's party or Christmas parties. That's about it when it comes to working or dining with your coworkers.
Right.
I know it might be different for different companies, but I mean, on the overall, unless there's like potlucks at at your work, there's not a lot of get-togethers. But the pros and cons to drinking with your bosses in Korean setting, it's kind of a nice way to find out what he doesn't like about you or what she doesn't like about
and
you.
it's obvious, because it's not like if it's outside of the office, then it's more comfortable that you can approach. And you can see that problem.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you have to be smart about it. Otherwise, this is like social life.
Exactly.
This is like social worker.
If I go back to one of my favorite sitcoms, Friends, there was an episode.
I love Friends!
It was Rachel and her boss were having a little bit of a conflict because Rachel did not smoke.
Okay, and then the boss smoked.
The boss smoked, and some other coworkers smoked as well. So she gets paranoid in one of the episodes because she feels like she's being left out because they're sealing deals while they're smoking.
Right. That's
and while
the
they're
part
drinking.
I think I remember that
Yeah,
episode.
see, that episode. And we're not saying, like, start having a drinking problem and start smoking because you want to get close with your boss.
Right.
But and I've noticed this a lot in a lot of men, especially. Men, I'm not saying that you have to, but I've noticed if you know your alcohol, you know your cigars, you know a lot of that, not necessarily good stuff, but things that people might treasure.
Right.
A good bottle of scotch or for a guy to sit down and actually know what he's talking about when it comes to a really expensive or a business type of matter. When you're sitting down with a partner and you're talking with them and you find something that they have in common, whether it be collecting alcohol, collecting cigars, collecting boats, cars, whatever it may be, that kind of manly man stuff. I would actually have to say, don't necessarily pick up like drinking or smoking or whatever. Eric, find out what your manager likes personally, like hobbies. Do they like to collect certain things?
Exactly. Even it's your manager, you have to come. I know maybe he can be your enemy, but be a frenemy with him, because you know what? And most of the times when you're in office, because you guys have to work, people get like annoyed or get very sensitive. But if it's outside of work, like smoking, having a smoking break, having a break, then they are ready to talk.
Exactly.
Like as a human being,
Exactly.
not as your boss or anything. Because like when you work like business stuff, then you don't have time to actually set your mind and talk what you want to talk about. But if it's like a break time, then people get relaxed and their brain starts to process like a little bit more. And then you will guys have a, better true conversation.
Exactly.
So find that timing. Everything is about timing.
Yeah. I think that, overall, what Stephanie's saying is right. So in the meantime, for both of us, we'd have to go with B. Follow what the manager says for now.
Yes.
Because you never know.
And
you
look,
might
and timing.
Yeah, you might find yourself actually liking the way that he does this. So this is why I'm saying that a lot of men compare to the workplace as the Korean Army. And I'll give you the stages. So when you first get there, you're the rookie, you're the freshman, you're the new meat. So they pick on you like crazy because they were picked on as well, which is usual. It's just like when you're in school, freshmen get picked on because you don't know what's what. Then after about few weeks, about a month or two after your, internal training and you get all that hard training and the body and physical things get used to it, then you start looking around because there's so many different people in the military, the Korean military, that they say that there are literally crazy people there, but there are also others that are, just, they got that from their people that were above them, so they're going to pretty much treat them the same way.
True.
It's kind of like hazing almost.
Yeah.
But they hit that spot, and then once you hit about your first year, so you're pretty much about halfway done with your military service, you kind of find out what's going on. You know who's who. You kind of memorize who's doing what. All the stuff that used to be really stressful to you is now piece of cake.
Right.
The paperwork that you had to fill out, the things that you had to do, the chores, waking up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., the little things that really stressed you out are now very leisurely. And then once you get into, about 3 months, the countdown starts 3 months before you finish your military service. The countdown starts. So a lot of people are just like, this is easy sailing. It's like downhill from here.
Right.
So I think that in your workplace as well, you're not quite used to your manager as much as you think you are. So you might find yourself doing what your manager is doing to other people.
Right. Or try meditation. Because this is what, good friend of mine, Russell Simmons, he's, he does meditate like every single day. He wakes up very early in the morning, and then he's ready to get everything. He has that, that grown up, what is that? That, I don't know, that soul maybe inside of him that he can actually be relaxed for everything. Cause once you go really crazy about one person, then, cause every time, Eric, when you go to the office, when you see your manager's face, then you'll be like, oh my God, I hate him.
Yeah.
So once you kind of, relax your mind and then be,
open-minded.
Open-minded and be as you, think about that you're his friend.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. But
It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. But when it comes to friends, I would say forget about it and just tell them how you feel. But because it is work, in life, unfortunately, we do have responsibilities that we have to suck it up and deal with it because society tells us to. So unless you're going to be pulling Wanted, the movie where he literally cusses his boss out and throws the computer. Unless you're going to do that to your boss and quit your job, I'd say that
do it.
Yeah, go with it for a while.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Exactly. There's a lot of good advice popping up on our message board.
Good.
So A or B, should he suck it up or should he, just A, go confront his manager, or B, suck it up. So share us with what you think he should do.
Yes.
Crispy Crunch. Cheesy joins us in the studio every week, and we have one of his tracks. His team is singing Sa장님 Nice Shot. All right, so we got 70 in the studio,
Hello.
and our first story today is Eric's having some trouble with his manager. He's a very picky person, but Eric doesn't really like some of the things that he has to do. The manager's making mistakes, but yeah, he's kind of just really stressed about it. So does he confront his manager, which is choice A, or choice B? Does he,
and I graduated, went to college. A few months ago, he found my phone number somehow and called me. So we went out for dinner and hang out a few times. We both know we are happy when we are together, but he never asked me to be his girlfriend. I don't like to just sit there and waiting for him to ask me. So one day I asked him first. He said he can't. Why? Because his classmate who ruled the school, that's what he says, used to like me. So if he found out what we are dating, then his school life isn't going to be easy. Oh, I never thought this way, but yeah, I'm dealing with high school students. What should I do? Oh my goodness. All right, so
But this could be a problem.
exactly, this
could be a very big problem
because it's your school life, especially this is Asia. This is, we can actually compare this to Korea too, because this is Japan. And you know what? It's a small country, and the whole school, it's not like America. It's not like a state that it's like huge, class that, it's not like that. So it's like in one building and a small school, and the school is very important because, education is like that, Asia, different cultural thing. So, I know maybe maybe because you're having this problem because he's in high school, but the high school, it means a lot. Yeah.
The Reply 1994 actor Tongwoo, he did his own, he wrote his own script about a life story about him. He teamed up with the director, and he released a film that he starred in called 바람, or Wind.
Okay.
It's been really airing a lot these days thanks to Reply 1994's popularity. Kind of same story. But this happens a lot in Asian schools. So what happens is like they were saying, there's a classmate that's kind of like, that rules the school. Now, I don't know if a lot of our listeners can relate to this. It's kind of like the senior jock.
It is.
So the senior jock of the school. But in Korea, it's not about sports. In the States, it's more about high school. It's the guy who's the most popular, who's on the football team or the basketball team. He's on varsity. He's got a tough boy image. He kind of beats up the kids in the locker room. That's the kind of thing. But in Korea and in Japan, I think more so. I'm not really sure about China because I've never really heard about Chinese school life. But in Japan and in Korea, because it's talked about this in a lot of different dramas. Boys Over Flowers kind of talks about this too, even in the Japanese version. But it's more so the guy who's pretty much the school's number one. And what I mean by is
that means
fighting.
A lot, though.
That's fighting wise. And I'm not just talking about like he beats up the kids in his school. We're talking about like he represents a school when it comes to other fights. So to kind of give you guys a behind story of the school life in Korea, each city and each area has about 2 schools. And that's like about a average, I'd have to say. So if right now our area is Seocho.
Right.
So Seocho, if you live within certain radius of Seocho and Pangbae, which pretty much fall in the same city, these two actually have about 2 to 3 schools that you can choose to go to. Now, within these schools, there's going to be a private school, and then there's going to be 2 public schools. The private schools, very pricey. So a lot of the times, depending on what school what area you're in, some of the kids kind of can choose to go. The other 2, there's going to be rankings within there. How good of a school it is and how is it going to get you into college? So which school is a sister school with what college?
Competition.
Very big competition there. And the kids, depending on where they're from, so it's literally like, which block are you from?
Right.
Which part of the neighborhood are you from? Which school do you go to? Do you live on this side of the freeway or this side of the freeway? That kind of thing. And pretty much the guy that liked our listener is the one that pretty much has the upper hand at school. And we're talking about fist-wise. So he's fought his way to the top of the class or school, and he represents that school when there's another fight with another school. So if he liked her, there could be a problem. Now,
right, because then it'll be very hard for your friend, and his friend cannot be a good friend because when he finds out. So I think if he said he cannot go out with you, just leave it alone. Yeah, because don't beg. Because they're high school students. Like you said, you understood the situation. So I'm really glad. Because she's understanding the situation. And then, she's like, okay, I'm dealing with this high school student. You already know. So why don't you just wait a little bit more? Because when everyone goes to college and when people, kind of split to go to like different college, then I think you will not have a problem there. because the legendary high school student,
it changes when he gets to college.
Yeah, because
he's going to be a freshman again very soon.
Yep.
So, play it out a little bit. I don't know how much the guy likes you.
Why don't you just keep the friendship?
Yeah, keep the friendship, keep the relationship there. Because, in the end, if you guys end up going to the same college, that'd be great because you guys can date at college. I'd say keep the relationship up. Don't take it too serious though.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Even though you guys like each other, date casually. Try and keep your distance for a while. You never know. That distance might help your hearts grow fonder of each other.
Right.
Have a open communication about it though. Don't just push him away and be like, no, I can't. Sit him down and talk with him and be like, I know that you like me, and I obviously, because you're wondering what you should do, you like him too. So if you're in that situation, sit down and have an open conversation saying, let's see, let's keep this open until you graduate.
Right.
Let's see where you go to college.
Exactly.
And then
it's not
we'll
the
see
end
what
of
happens.
the world.
Yeah. Right now, I think that for you guys, time is actually in your favor because once he goes to college, if he ends up going to your college, then you guys, that'll be even greater because you can help him settle into college. You guys can become, campus couple.
Rushing is not the key,
especially if he's still in high school. I know that it is a big step because when I was in my last year of high school, I did date older guys, so obviously they were in college at the time. I know it sounds odd. A guy is dating a high school girl, whatever, the other way around, because they are still in high school. But either way, feelings are not going to go anywhere. Feelings are still the same.
Exactly.
Feelings are still the same. So
you never know what's going to happen. What's going to change your mind after he goes to college.
Exactly.
So why don't you just take a time? I know you really like him because I can see that. Like through this little story, it's obvious that you really like your buddy, your guy. But you know what? Going out, that's like totally different story for now, and he's not ready. When he's not ready, that relationship's gonna not work.
Exactly.
It's not gonna work out. So, why don't you just take a time for now, like Ida said, and then, you know what? See what happens, because it's not, like I said, it's not the end of the world.
Tang, I didn't mean that distant makes a heart grow fonder in that way, because Tang was like, ouch, that hurts. He's like, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying keep a relationship going. Just don't get serious about it all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
Oh, Tang,
keep your distance when it comes to, I'm not saying friend zone him, because obviously she likes him already. She can't friend zone him.
It's obvious. She cannot do that.
Exactly. But I'm saying, if you're like, pretty much what I'm saying is keep the PDA to a minimum. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Keep the PDA to a minimum so that you guys don't end up building too much of a deep connection too fast. So I'm saying, go on dates, hold hands, but just keep the PDA a little bit, take your time with it.
Yeah. So to give you advice a little bit more, like holding hands, and you know what? Holding hands can lead to other, steps.
Exactly.
But you know what? For now, I'm like literally begging my listener, Michiko, don't go too far yet.
Yeah.
Because I know, I can see that you might regret about that later.
Yes. Chloe's giving you some good advice. Especially in high school. I remember this guy wanted to date me, but my mom said not until the end of high school. And then in the end, the guy ended up dating his best friend's sister. So, Chloe, like Chloe's saying, in high school, it is the end of the world for everything. I was like that as well. My first love came right after high school.
Oh.
So, obviously, your emotions are really high at that time. So that's what I'm saying. You're already in college. Dating younger men is a good thing. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. But let's wait until he graduates. So if you're in college, I'm guessing that you just entered college this year, and he's probably got about a year or two to go. So
Yeah,
if he has
not too long.
if he has a year to go, like I'm saying, keep the PDA as minimum as possible, even though you want to, and then see where it takes you, because, that's what I mean. It might make the heart grow fonder.
Right.
Because you really, really want that person.
Right. And you know what? You never know that you will like somebody in your college. Who
knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
You never
seriously.
know.
So let it flow.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. That's our advice because he already turned you down once. So don't beg.
Exactly.
No.
Helen was saying, agreed. I was thinking from a guy's perspective, but I couldn't come up with anything. But I totally agree with Ida and Stephanie. Leave the drama out of it. Keep it casual. Just wait until college, and then it gets better from there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that we've come to an agreement where I feel that at that age, if you keep the PDA very high in that relationship, it is going to be a little bit harder to break it off.
True.
Because your hormones are going crazy. So, I think keeping it casual, be friends, go on dates, watch movies together, go dine together.
Like casual dates. Don't no kisses.
Yes,
let's don't do that.
Let's keep our hands to our sides.
Yep.
And enjoy the date.
Yep.
So wait until he graduates, and then we'll probably see what happens, and hopefully we get some good news from you later on.
Yes, give us the updates.
All right. What we're going to do is we're going to listen to a My Name track, and let's hope I pronounce... I don't want to read it wrong. Because I've been reading a lot of songs wrong these days.
Really?
Yeah, not a clue. So what we're going to do is take a listen to this track, and then we'll see you guys after this with our last story.
Okay.
All right, so our last story is from the USA.
Okay, Angela from USA. Hello, Isaac and Stephanie. It happened to me about 2 weeks ago, but I still don't understand, so I want to listen to what you guys think. Me and my friend, we went to same middle school and high school. When we have decided college, my friend decided to stay our hometown, and I decided to go out to city. I went back to my hometown very often because it's only 2 hours from here, and I miss all of my friends and family back there. About a month ago, I tried to call my friend, but she didn't pick up. I called her many times because I want to see her. Few days after, she called me and she said, okay, this is going to be my last call. Could you stop calling me? I was in panic, so I asked her what's wrong, what's going on, and why would you say that? But she only said, you know why am I doing this?
You know why I'm doing this.
You know what? You know why am I doing this? And that was it. I don't know what I did. I don't know what to do. Should I keep calling and ask why? Oh, so maybe she heard some gossip.
I think so.
Because girls, oh my gosh.
Well,
girls
Angela,
always have this kind of, what is that, problem, complicated.
That is why Stephanie and I do not hang out with a lot of girls.
Yeah, talk.
Anyways, so, what happens is, you know what, Angela, though? I actually can come from both perspectives. I don't know what it might have done to upset her, but if she's already came out and said, this is going to be my last call, stop calling me, just stop calling her. I know you're probably like, what did I do? I want to know what I did. I want to hear what I did wrong. If she's already made the decision that she does not want to see you anymore,
she needs some
time. Because of whatever reason, I think give her time.
Yeah.
Maybe ask your mutual friends. Do you know anything about it?
Third perspective. Third party.
Yeah, get the third party perspective because you never know. Those friends might have said something about you that she took completely wrong. For instance, you're saying that you're only 2 hours away from your hometown. So I live in the Valley. Back in LA. So,
it's like me, LA and San Diego.
Exactly. So, if that's like me going to UC San Diego, pretty much. And me living in the Valley in LA. So, for me to go see you, it's about a 2 hour drive. So, going back and forth. If it's about me, if I were to have been going to UCLA from my hometown, I probably would be commuting about an hour and a half, 2 hours because of traffic. Time-wise, it's only about a 45-minute drive. So you're going back and forth. My cousin's doing this actually right now. So she's going back and forth from her college and dorms to home, and it takes her about an hour and a half, 45 minutes. So this is how she's going back and forth and commuting. Now, this is what ends up happening right after high school and into college. Your friends start changing, and your priorities start changing,
and the friends
start changing as well. So I'm guessing that her and your other friends are staying in your hometown and going to college, but you're the ones going in the city. This is how the smallest thing can spark the biggest party wrecker ever.
What is it?
Let's say it was, your friends or whatever that are back in your hometown, college, they're having their first, let's have some drinks, whatever.
Okay.
They called you, Angela. They called you, but because of class or whatever reason, you couldn't go. So obviously it's a 2-hour drive. So for you to make that 2-hour drive to go out and do whatever, you couldn't do it. So you decline, but after class, you and your classmates go have a drink. Or you guys go out to dinner and you posted it on SNS. This could be a problem starter. Because your friends are like, oh, now she's in the city. Oh, she's too good for us now.
Right.
That happens a lot of times. Too much. Now, I'm guessing that that's probably why, like some of those reasons, like you couldn't come home for certain things. She felt abandoned by you. But if she's already putting her foot down,
that she doesn't want to talk to you.
She doesn't want to talk to you.
Then just let it go for now.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, but because like when you keep trying to call her, she's not gonna answer the phone. And you know what? Coming up that way, I don't really like that because like if you guys were really true friends, you guys should like sit down and talk about it. But she literally made a statement.
Exactly.
That she doesn't want to talk to you. So why bother?
Exactly. If I give you a recent experience that I've had with some friends that I don't speak to any longer, I talked with one of the friends, sat down, had a face-to-face conversation of why I was acting the way I was. So, Angela, I was pretty much what your friend was doing. I was upset about some things, but it's not something that I can change. It's their personality and their lifestyle. So I told them, I don't like your personality and your lifestyle at this point in our lives. I feel that it is not something that I can relate to and accept. She decided that she was going to say, okay, I understand. We ended the conversation that way, but I noticed that her actions were very different. And so now I don't talk to them. Now I heard from a mutual friend that those friends still think that I just kind of dropped them. You could kind of like let them go like you're feeling right now, Angela. But for me, in my perspective, I had a sit-down conversation face-to-face and told them what I felt and said what I felt and told my perspective, but they still don't understand what I'm talking about. If they don't understand what I'm talking about, I have no reason to sit down and explain it to them.
Because you guys are different human beings and you have a different personality. That's understandable. But if you... like we said, if she really wanted to try out and figure out the relationship between you guys as, the friendship, then she already called you back.
Exactly. If she wants to work this friendship out, she would have already called you and got something done. Now, because you guys are a little bit on the younger side, because you guys are just out of high school and in your first year of college, she might still be a little raw and a little bit more emotional, a little bit more immature than you are. So you can give her time. So I'm guessing that it's not on my perspective where I put my foot down and that's it. I feel that you could give her some time, and I feel that she'll probably be able to open up to you on her own time.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you will hear from other friends as well too, because your friends still in the your hometown, and then you're the only one who's out of that hometown and you live in the city. But you know what? The gossip and whatever that problem they will keep talk about it. I know that's a bad thing, but that's what girls do. So just for now, just let it go. But I'm sure that one day you will figure out. So wait for now. Don't try to dig in, because that will make it worse. And then, you know what? Why do you have to be a beggar?
Exactly. Why do you have to constantly fish for? Yeah. You shouldn't be the one fishing for answers. Now, I know a lot of girls say, you know why, in relationships too. Like with a guy in a relationship, they're like, 알잖아. You know. He's like, no, I don't know. You need to tell me because I don't know.
Yeah, because girls don't talk.
Now, she just might be one of those individuals.
Yeah, personality.
That's her personality. Angela, I know that you're heartbroken because you guys have been friends since middle school, but let me warn you this. College is a brand new start in life. There's a brand new number that comes in front of your age. Right. And with that number comes a lot more responsibilities. Your priorities change. And 9 times out of 10, so does your friends.
Right.
So just remember that.
Or did you go out with, are you dating one of her ex?
If that's the case, then we need to talk.
Yeah.
All right, so back to our first
Hopefully
story. Team B won, but Ben, we're going to choose your story for today because he gave us a really good story that I want to try and speedily read.
Okay.
So Eric, listen up. Ben's professor told him this story. He was working for a really mean guy, had around the same issues that your manager has, Eric. Now, a professor was moonlighted as a real estate agent, but so the professor's boss. So the professor one day mustered up the courage to ask the boss about houses. The boss lit up and made arguments for a few houses that he could look at the next day. So that's what I said earlier about hobbies. Mm-hmm. If you find out what your manager likes, you might be able to stick with him on that.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's time for us to say goodbye to Stephanie.
No.
But Stephanie is going to be our new host for our nighttime.
8 o'clock to 10 p.m. in Korean time. And
so don't forget to listen to her. Last track for today is going to be Monday Kids with 도대체 넌 왜? Why do you? We're going to see you around the studio and good luck with being a DJ.
Thank you. Bye-bye.